SmackDown took place tonight in San Antonio, Texas, a show in which WWE sold 15,000 tickets for a SmackDown. And this is not during WrestleMania season, so that's impressive. They started the show off with the MFT getting into a car accident. And now we didn't see the accident. It was backstage. Usually when they start the show, they show wrestlers arriving. This time they go backstage earlier in the day to talk about a car accident that happened. And this was like minutes before the show. Kathy Kelly was on the scene interviewing Adam Pearce. And Adam Pearce, who's the general manager of Raw, was filling in for Nick Aldis. So he was later met by Cody Rhodes to discuss the contract signing later in the night. And then we saw Solo Sikoa and the MFT concerned as they were involved in the accident. I believe Tonga Loa was busted open, so he botched driving. He botches everything. Then we go backstage to see Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Alexa takes responsibility and admits they failed at Evolution. She's ready to move on, but Charlotte tells her that she got them a tag team title match at SummerSlam to take on Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Now Charlotte wants Alexa Bliss in her corner as she faces Raquel, and Alexa jokes about being a cheerleader. Do I look like a cheerleader? And that's kind of a joke because Alexa Bliss was a cheerleader in high school. I believe she was a fairly good one. And her original gimmick was in NXT. You can go back and watch it. I've seen it. She was kind of like a cheerleader type. I mean, it was more of a Disney princess, Tinkerbell. I think that was her original gimmick. But she was also kind of doing a cheerleader thing if you saw her earlier days in NXT. And that made sense because she was a cheerleader before. Then we get Charlotte, who is out with Alexa Bliss. She took on Raquel Rodriguez, who's accompanied by her tag team partner, Roxanne Perez. So Alexa stops Roxanne from interfering earlier in the match. Roxanne got on the apron, distracting the ref, but as she did this, Alexa did the same, and she hit Raquel with the pom-pom, which Alexa was carrying the pom-poms to the ring, and then she attacks Raquel. She hooks her over the top rope, and then Charlotte hits a kick on Raquel, then rolls her up and gets the win. So Charlotte defeats Raquel Rodriguez, and Alexa faces Roxanne next week. Charlotte and Alexa try not to celebrate too much. They're doing the whole "we're not friends, we're allies in convenience." That's her whole gimmick, and it's getting over. As I've mentioned, Alexa Bliss has almost saved Charlotte Flair in many ways because Charlotte was universally hated by the fans. Now people are getting into her again. So you have 3 police officers backstage talking to Adam Pearce about Jacob Fatu as he's now a person of interest in the accident. Pearce takes him to them and Fatu's angry. He calls them punk-ass police, which was just hilarious how he said it. His delivery is great. So they're setting him up because they know Fatu has a criminal history, so they're using that in storyline. We get a video promo on Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. They're both talking about their rise in WWE simultaneously. I believe they both debuted on the main roster in last year's Royal Rumble match. So I'm thinking this is fine, but my expectations for this match are not high. I'm going to put it like that. We had Damian Priest and Carmelo Hayes having a confrontation backstage earlier in the day. The footage was shown. Sort of a match, we get Carmelo and Damian, so Carmelo attacked him before the bell. As Damian's fighting back, he's seeking control of the match. He's about to hit an old school, and Aleister Black knocks him off the ropes, and he lands, and it's like a low blow, and Priest doing old school like The Undertaker does. But after that, Aleister Black seeing a lot of heat, he then hits a black mass onto Damian Priest, and Black is wearing an all-black suit. And by the way, we saw No R-Truth because he was, it makes sense, he was the catalyst for this whole feud, and he wasn't even on TV. We get a Wyatt 6 video promo, and by the way, I mean, this is what you get when you have a 2-hour SmackDown. I do prefer the 2 hours still over 3, but when you have 3, you get more people featured. He had Solo Sikoa and the MFT out next. He accuses Jacob Fatu of attacking them. He gets the what treatment from the fans. He calls Jacob a criminal. Police drop Jacob off at the building. Jimmy Uso was there to greet him, and they apologize for arresting him. Jacob heads to the ring. Jimmy backs him up, and they fight the MFT. They fight off Talatanga, and then Jacob is ready to do a hip attack on Sikoa with a chair. But Jason Mateo stops it. Solo retreats, and with Talatanga, both of them retreat. But both JC and Tongaloa get beat down with a steel chair by Jacob Fatu. Adam Pearce comes out and announces a steel cage match for the United States Championship at SummerSlam. So, Solo defending against Jacob Fatu in a cage. The 3 police officers then come back and they arrest Solo Sikoa as he's responsible for the accident. Stephanie Vaquer was out next to a decent pop, and then she faced Alba Fire. So, they got the Devil's Kiss. Camera's in perfect position, gets a big pop. Stephanie then just beats her quickly with the SVB, and that's it. I don't even think we saw Chelsea Green tonight. She just beats Alba Fire like it's nothing. I'm thinking that's fine. They want to establish Stephanie, but why is this even on SmackDown? Stephanie's a Raw star. They could have just had this on Raw on Monday. And I'm thinking, again, it's Paris, but no one cares about Paris right now. Everyone's talking about SummerSlam. I don't think Stephanie's going to be on the SummerSlam card. I mean, they could do her and Nikki Bella against a Secret Service. I don't really want to see that, but that could happen. I just think with Stephanie, they should be doing a better job with her. I mean, she got the Rumble win. They had Stephanie McMahon in the ring, putting her over, but I just feel like they could be doing more, and I don't know. I don't think this was necessary. I'm happy to see Stephanie Vaquer always, but I don't think this whole thing was even necessary on the show. But they did hype up the Paris match, and I assume she's facing Naomi, and I don't want to see that. I'm not going to lie. I would have loved to see Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer, or Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquer at Clash in Paris. Either one of those matches would have been great. Naomi, I don't care. I don't want to see that, and she's going to lose. I think they're just building up Naomi so she can face Rhea in Australia at Crown Jewel, where Rhea will get her belt back. Street Profits are with B-Fab backstage, interviewed by Kathy Kelly. Is she on SmackDown permanently? We didn't see Byron Saxton. I think it would make sense to have Kathy on SmackDown and then just Jackie Redmond has Raw, but I'm not sure. You had DIY with Candice LeRae mocking them for losing their belts. They're not in the tag match. And then they did a Did You Know graphic. San Antonio has hosted 4 Royal Rumbles. They had 97, 2007, 2017, and 2023. 3 of them were in the Alamo Dome. One was in the arena, which was the same arena that WWE was in tonight. All 4 of them were great Rumbles. That's funny. I didn't realize that they had 4 Royal Rumbles. Yeah, it has to be the most. San Antonio, I don't think they've ever had any other major event other than a Rumble. I don't think they certainly have never had a WrestleMania. They've never had a SummerSlam. I guess they maybe have had a Survivor Series. I don't know, but whenever they get an event, it's always the Rumble. He got a Fatal 4-Way Tag Match, number 1 Contenders match, and I don't think this is for SummerSlam. I think this is just on SmackDown. But you had DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium, Andrade, and Phoenix. You had Fraxium doing dives at first, but then you had a whole bunch of chaos. You had a whole bunch of moves, a lot of big spots here, as you would expect. Very indie-rific, I'm not going to lie, but Andrade pins Ciampa and his team gets the win, so Andrade and Rey Fenix getting some momentum. They preview next week's show in Cleveland. It's Alexa Bliss against Roxanne Perez. I look forward to that match. Logan Paul is back in Cleveland, and that's the same events, the same venue. It's not the same venue, I apologize. The same city that hosted last year's SummerSlam, and I believe the SmackDown after that is in Detroit, so that's the city that hosted SummerSlam 2 years ago. So WWE hitting all the former cities that have hosted the previous SummerSlams up until this SummerSlam, which is in New Jersey. Then you had backstage, you show Cody Rhodes heading to the ring. Adam Pearce was presiding over the contract signing for SummerSlam. Cody Rhodes was out first. He immediately signs a contract. He brings up his social media post about teasing something big happening. It's probably a heel turn, but he mentioned how he never flinched, even when he came back at WrestleMania 38, when he had the torn pec, when he won the 2 Rumbles, when he faced Roman. but he did flinch. He admitted, and he also mentioned Brock in a way. He mentioned the Beast, and yes, he mentioned the final boss. He did mention the final boss, but he admits he flinched against John Cena at WrestleMania 41. Then John Cena comes out. Cena says he's not going to be at SummerSlam because he's filming a movie. He apologizes. He leaves. Cody attacks Cena as he's leaving. Cena sets him into the ring steps, tries to hit him with the belt, but Cody blocks it with a kick. Cody then gets the belt, hits Cena in the head, throws him on the table, hits a splash through the table. Then he forces John Cena to sign the contract, after which Cody immediately gets on the mic and announces that his match against John Cena at SummerSlam won't just be an ordinary match, it will be a street fight. So I'm sure it'll be better than a WrestleMania match. The street fight gimmick gives them more options. Can't be worse than that WrestleMania match. So we got that for SummerSlam, and I think WWE is building up SummerSlam well this year. I think this is one of the better SummerSlam cards I've seen in a while, at least in a few years. Probably the best since that Nashville show, which was great. But they are doing a better job at SummerSlam this year, and hopefully the show ends up delivering. I have no doubts it'll be better than WrestleMania. It's a very low bar, what WrestleMania was this year. So WWE, I think, is doing a better job, and I think they sparked my interest with Cody and Cena adding the street fight. Cena's always had good street fights, and I just think this match should be a lot better than that last match. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to SummerSlam, and I thought SmackDown was okay tonight. It was an okay show, in front of a great crowd, by the way, 15,000 people in San Antonio. So they're definitely selling tickets. It's still hot, the product, even if it's not necessarily as well received as it once was a few years ago. Clearly, they're still very hot, and hopefully SummerSlam is a good show. We'll see what they do in the next couple weeks.